Hey guys, it's Nick. It's Sick Nick today because I woke up with a bug, but we're gonna power through this together because we need to talk about The Turning. Normally, long-delayed supernatural thrillers that are PG-13 and released in January signal cinematic garbage, but I was really hoping that this latest adaptation of Henry James's novella The Turn of the Screw would be at least a decent surprise with its solid cast and its high production quality. But this movie is a solid reminder to always be pessimistic. Mackenzie Davis stars as a teacher sent to a secluded estate to nanny for the dude from Stranger Things and the girl from the Florida Project, and creepy occurrences begin happening, but mostly the kids are just such assholes that our protagonist begins questioning her sanity. For some reason, this movie takes place in the 90s, even though there's no point to that, but it just looks like they're trying to get ahead of the 90s nostalgia wave, and it's like, we're not there yet. You gotta wait a couple years. Now, I thought the acting was mostly fine in this film, but this script is so less than basic, I could not even. I think it looks really good and the location is perfect for this type of film, but this material is just so weak. I was so disappointed with this, which is a bummer because this had a lot of the right ingredients, but it ultimately falls flat on its face because this movie has nothing going for it. All of the scares are in the trailer and none of them are very interesting at all. They're not even set up. All of the scares are just telegraphed. It's like, oh, we're walking into the stables. I wonder if a horse is gonna jump at the camera. Everything is just reduced to Mackenzie Davis walking around a dark house. It's so dumb. It's like, you know, normally we make fun of these movies where the heroine will be like in her nightgown walking around a creepy haunted house with a fully lit candelabra. Here, she doesn't even have that. She's just walking through a giant mansion that she's not familiar with in complete and utter darkness. I mean, she should have stubbed her toe like 20 damn times. Now, supernatural thrillers are not my favorite on the spectrum of horror. However, I did become a horror fan in the early 2000s when the supernatural thriller was all the rage after the remake of The Ring came out. So I kind of have a soft spot for these types of films, which is why I thought maybe this one would be decent, even though it had everything working against it. And you know, honestly, for the first half hour or so, I was kind of on board, and I was like, you know, this is disappointing, but it's fine enough. I get it. It's trying to be The Haunting of Hill House, but it's not. But then after that first half hour, it just became so repetitive and I realized it was not going anywhere. I want to ruin the ending for you, but the truth of the matter is that this film doesn't even have an ending. I was looking at my clock at one point going, wait a minute, this is only supposed to be an hour and a half. I think we're wrapping this up at some point really soon. And yeah, if you thought that The Grudge had an abrupt ending, this is on a completely different level. Well, the whole movie wasn't over. I have to make the argument that I think this signals that this is the death of the basic PG-13 thriller. This is still a holdover type of film from those early 2000s films that I mentioned earlier, and it's like, studios are still trying to make this happen. We're over it. Horror fans are willing to go see an R-rated movie these days. So this whole type of thing, it's just, we're done. We're over it. I'm going to give The Turning a 1.5 out of 5, and the only reason I'm not giving it a 1 out of 5 is because the way that this movie goes, I could see how people could get into it and what they would like about it if you do like movies that are really just about people going crazy. I know that the source material focuses on a character who was all disoriented and whatnot from everything going on, but I suggest you watch The Innocents, another adaptation of The Turn of the Screw that came out in the early 60s. I love it. It's one of my favorite classic horror films. It is so much better than this. It does everything this movie is trying to do, but like actually really well. And that movie has an abrupt and mysterious ending, but it still works. This is just a complete failure. While I got you guys, I'm just gonna say that I also saw The Gentleman after I saw this, and I'm such like an anti-Guy Ritchie moviegoer that I'm like, there is just no way, I can't even review it. Just know that I hated it. I thought it was awful. There were a couple chuckles, but I was practically falling asleep. I was just not into the movie at all. I'm not the one to tell you whether to see it or not, but I can tell pretty much everyone completely avoid The Turning. What What do you guys think? I doubt really a whole lot of people are seeing this. I really hope not. Don't subject yourself to it. But thank you for subjecting yourself to this low energy video. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to head off to bed, binge Sabrina. Let me know if you want a review of that. I'm going to pump myself full of meds. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to watch this now. And I'll see you in my next video.